Alrighty, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Friday afternoon. Have an off day for myself, so I decided to come on here and talk some New York Knicks during this Friday afternoon. Once again, appreciate every single one of you guys tuning in, whether you're rewatching this or you're tuning in live. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Please make sure you subscribe and hit that like button. Just wanted to come on here and talk about the latest Knicks news, how we're feeling about last night, how we're preparing for the playoffs. And also we have Mr. Stephen A. Smith still in the media talking about Josh Hart and the New York Knicks. And away we go. Away from more of you to trickle in here. El Figgy's the first one in here. What's going on, El Figgy? She says, wow, Friday matinee. Let's go. Off from work, so had to hop on here. E-Money says, I still believe in this basketball team, but I don't know why the Knicks don't feed Cat. What's going on? Tony says, a Friday off must be nice. Yeah, it's lovely. Friday, Saturday off. Decided to come on here today, Friday afternoon. I'll probably do these more often. I'm thinking about doing like a semi-morning show for you guys in the future, like waking up super early and just talking Knicks, possibly at like 6 a.m. prior to when I go into work, to kind of kick off the day. That's in the cards. As you all know, a lot of stuff going on right now. But SP, what's going on? Paulie, what's going on? So, yeah, last night, look, Knicks lose against the Charlotte Hornets. And it's either people are overreacting. I've seen a lot of overreactions. I've seen a lot of cat talk. I've seen a lot of Mike Brown talk. I've seen, look, the 7-game winning streak for the New York Knicks came to a close. The Charlotte Hornets are good, folks. The Charlotte Hornets are really good, and they're coming. They're an up-and-coming team in the NBA. They have great young talent on that team, and the Knicks weren't ready for their physicality, one, and their rebounding battle, which they absolutely got demolished, number 2. So here we go. Here we are. So updated odds on the Knicks playoff schedule. SB, appreciate the sub, SB. E-Money says Deuce and Shamit needs to come back soon. I want that OKC game. Yes. 2 days off here. You have today, you have tomorrow, and then you go to OKC. Slow Runner says last night demonstrates the Knicks are not serious contenders. Never led in the game, and it felt like the Knicks only made a run in garbage time. Once again, Knicks didn't come out ready to play. I agree with you with the once again, the Knicks didn't come out ready to play. They're still contenders, Slow Runner. I'm not going to allow a game in March to dictate how I feel about this Knicks team come April. That's what I'm not going to do. But look, we've seen it. We've seen the song and dance that we saw last night before, right? And that's why a lot of Knicks fans are kind of nervous about this Knicks team heading to the playoffs. And look, you can either be proven right or you can either be proven wrong. And there's only one way to find out, and that's wait till April, right? But I am a bit nervous and concerned. E-Money says there's a Mitch Robinson comments concern. Yeah, we'll get to that in a second, E-Money. So here's the odds. The Knicks have a 26% chance to finish the second seed in the Eastern Conference. Now, with last night's loss, those chances decreased. Celtics have a 72% chance finishing number 2 seed. Knicks, 26% chance finishing number 2 seed. 62% chance finishing the 3rd seed. So the higher percentage is that 3rd seed. And we've all talked about that 6th seed, who the Knicks would be playing if the New York Knicks finished the number 3rd seed. That changes daily. It's the Toronto Raptors now. It could be the Miami Heat tomorrow. It could be the Charlotte Hornets next week. They're creeping up there to the top 6. Philly, Orlando, and the whole shebang. I want to see who the highest team is to finish number 6. Okay, that's the Raptors. That's best case scenario for the Knicks. A Knicks Raptors first round series. If the Knicks were to finish number 3, I would take that any day of the week. And as I imagine all of you, Isaiah, what's going on? Missed last night's stream, but I'm here today. What's going on, Isaiah? Isaiah's in the building. Members in the building. What's going on? So yeah, look. Last night's game, I said it on the post game. Like, it just brought me back to my feelings about this team prior to the 7-game winning streak, and even during the 7-game winning streak. Like those wins weren't like dominant. Like they're barely scraping by these scrubs, right? And last night's game, they go to Charlotte. No Landry Shamet. The excuses, if you want to give them, I guess, but a Knicks team should still be able to beat that Charlotte team. But defending the 3 without Landry Shamet, one of your best perimeter defenders, has been a problem. Somebody commented on my video, like, if the Knicks defended the 3, they'll be probably one of the best teams in the NBA. And it's true. Because defending the 3, even Clyde Frazier said it yesterday on the broadcast. It seems like when they're good, they're still poor at defending the 3s. When they're bad, they're still poor at defending the 3s. It's been a common denominator here. And if you're not going to defend the 3, you're not going to win many games, and it's going to hurt you in the playoffs with these teams shooting lights out, especially this Hornets team, which is why I think, a team like the Charlotte Hornets will give us some issues, but we still should be able to win. But defending the 3 has been a problem for this team. It has been for years. For many years. And most of that is due to, Jalen Brunson being a smaller guard back there. We saw Charlotte attacking him yesterday a bunch with Miles Bridges on the wing and on the perimeter. So but the Knicks have been better. And we just have to hope that Landry Shamet's healthy and Deuce McBride is back, because those are your 2 best perimeter defenders, right? One of your best perimeter defenders, Landry Shamet and OJ Anunoby, are probably their best perimeter defenders on the team. So that's going to be key. The health with those 2, with Shamet and Deuce, are going to be key in defending the 3. But we'll see. But I still do think we'll be fine. I know this upcoming 8-game stretch is difficult, with Sunday being a really difficult game at the Oklahoma City Thunder, but a lot of Knicks fans are pointing to that game as a litmus test. Like, they want to see how this New York Knicks team fares against the Oklahoma City Thunder on Sunday. Right? I kind of do as well. Like, I kind of don't want the Knicks to lay out on Sunday. Like, I kind of want to go into the playoffs feeling good. I kind of want to go into the postseason feeling good about this team. Not with the sense of, like, I just don't know. I just don't know. They could be great one day, 1 week, one stretch, or they can be poor a stretch. And that's just how they've been. But I guess the struggle is here, just trying to pinpoint what the issue is. And it's been the starts. Like last night, the start was bad. It was bad. So Isaiah says, so from what I've seen, I legitimately think Charlotte can beat Detroit in the first round. Look, Charlotte's going to give one of these teams an issue in the first round, Boston included, because let's say Charlotte finishes in a play-in, where they're at, right? Right now, they are, what are they? Where are the Hornets? 8, right? They have a higher chance finishing in the play-in tournament than they do finishing in the top 6. That can change in a blink, but let's say they finish 8, right, where they're at. I believe that matches up against the 2nd seed, and if you ask Boston fans, they don't want to play Charlotte. Like, Charlotte's one of those teams where I kind of want to avoid in the first round, right? Like, one of those teams that when they get hot, they're pretty much unguardable. And that's crazy talking about the Charlotte Hornets, because they have shooters, man. Canepo's a stud. Brandon Miller's a stud. Like, they got shooters on that team. LaMelo Ball, when he's on, he's on. So that's a team that I said yesterday kind of reminds me of the Pacers. I know they're different, but, man, it's just one of those teams where I just think that we'll knock out somebody in the first round, and we'll see. We'll see. I just hope it's not us, and I doubt it's us. Again, I don't want to overreact, but look, the Knicks could have clinched a playoff berth yesterday. That is coming with a win. That is coming. So we'll just have to wait on that. But I'm hoping Sunday, because if Deuce McBride's back, then it's like my excitement comes back, and I'm still excited for this Knicks team. But their win total right now is 52. So they're projected 52 wins. 52 wins. Last year, correct me if I'm wrong, they finished with 51. 51, correct me if I'm wrong. So that's one more win than last year. Tenjo says Charlotte can win it all.
Bruh.
No way. You think Charlotte can win it all? I don't think so. That's an overreaction over yesterday. Latino, what's going on? The mindset. Always talking about the mindset. They really need to go do or die teams they are facing, have nothing to lose. That's what scares me. Latino, you've always been talking about the Knicks mindset. And yes, it's that killer mentality. Don't play with your food. Take these opponents seriously. They took those opponents during that 7-game stretch seriously with the W's at the end, but during the 7-game winning streak, it didn't really click, right? There were still warts. I'll go back to that Golden State game where we were all worried about a win. Yes, because a great team like the New York Knicks shouldn't be struggling against the G League Warriors team. It just shouldn't be happening. And that we've seen that too much this season with this New York Knicks team. And look, we're pretty much in April. It's March 27th. And we're still talking about this team like we don't know, right? And to be fair, they're still really good. But I think this late in the season, if you still don't know, you kind of know. And the only thing that's holding on, that's giving me confidence, is last year we kind of felt the same heading into the playoffs. But then in the playoffs, they kind of flipped a switch. I know Detroit gave them a run for their money. A couple of bounces went their way. The Boston series, remember going down 20 twice, magical in Boston. So, and then Indiana. It's the playoffs are just a different game. It's a different animal. And I do think this Knicks team is better constructed for a playoff run and for a 7-game series rather than these games, like these random games here or there. But we'll see, man. I hope I'm not talking on my ass, but I just hope I hope that this Knicks team can pull it through. Once again, appreciate you guys in the chat. Friday matinee, 12:45. Happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Heading into the weekend, talking about the New York Knicks. Decided to come on here for a few and talk to you guys. A little impromptu live stream. How many people we got in here? 17 people. Appreciate every single one of you guys in the chat. Isaiah says they have shooters more than one playmaker as well. Yeah, exactly. El Figi says you can get away with that against bad teams, but not young, hungry, high talent players. Exactly. And she says with how Charlotte was playing in the first half, they should have had 140 plus, but we made adjustments. Mikal got torched by White and a rookie, and Carl switched OG on him, and things improved. Yeah. Yeah, it's just anytime it seemed like the Knicks were making a run, they would hit you with a dagger three, like a tough three. Like Brandon Miller would come and dagger three. Kneppel would come and knock down like a fade, not like a fadeaway, like a fading to the right three. Like it just was like one of those games where the ball was going in the basket for Charlotte, but that's their game. Like that's how they play. They have really good shooters on the team. Like really good shooters. Isaiah says, as long as Brunson is still on the team, I will always believe. D-Dot, what's going on? What's going on, D-Dot? Little Dookie Stain, man. What a name. I think we all got into the hype of when Jose joined the team, but now that a few games has passed, he isn't doing very well. Yeah, Jose Alvarado has seemingly played himself out the rotation, in my opinion. Because with the return of Deuce McBride, and it seems like he'll be back soon, possibly on Sunday. And even Tyler Kolek, I just think that there isn't a spot. There's a spot for him on the court, but man, if the perimeter defense is shaky like that, I don't see how you can justify Alvarado being on the court. Right? He's in there to distribute. He's in there to set his teammates up, and to be fair, he has done a pretty good job in doing so. But when he's bad, he's bad. The games are bad. Like when he's bad, it's off. It's off for Jose Alvarado. So we'll see. Stephen A. Smith has responded to Josh Hart. I know most of you guys don't care about him, but I kind of wanted to see what he has to say. I kind of saw this already, but I kind of want to listen to his reaction to Josh Hart pretty much telling him to shut the hell up. And away we go. This is a fun look back and forth, by the way.
Let me say this. Here's the statement, Big Perk, so you can see it for yourself right here. This is Josh Hart talking about me. For me, I think Stephen A., as a part-time Knicks fan, needs to shut the hell up. He barely knows guys that are on the team. End quote. Fine. Let me say this. I find nothing disrespectful about what he said, Big Perk, because I instigated it by telling him to be quiet the other day when he came to the defense of Mikal Bridges. But Josh Hart, number one, I don't need to know you. I don't need to talk to you. I get paid to talk about you. Somehow, some way, they haven't learned that, Perk. One of these days, they're going to learn that, okay? They want to ignore the fact that I've been covering the NBA for over 30 years, okay? The last time the New York Knicks won a championship was 24 years or 22 years before Josh Hart was born. Okay, this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. When the last time the New York Knicks were in the NBA Finals, Josh Hart was 4 years old. So again, I take no offense to what you said. You're absolutely entitled to clap back. And I don't take it personal at all, but it don't make you right. You go on the court last night via a 7-game winning streak, and you lose to the Charlotte Hornets, a team that's, by the way, the Eastern Conference best record of 23-6 since January 2nd. Why does that matter, Big Perk? Because do you know, with the Knicks' 7-game winning streak, that those wins came against teams under 500? They were a combined 176 games under 500. So who the hell did you beat? We're looking at Boston ascending. We're looking at the Pistons not going anywhere. We're looking at the Cleveland Cavaliers being right there. And you're the New York Knicks. And last night, LaMelo Ball and Con Knipple combined to out-rebound the Knicks' entire starting five. How does that happen? How am I supposed to feel confident? How are New York Knicks fans supposed to feel confident? You talking now, Josh Hart? You talking now? You chirping now? You see what I'm trying to say? The New York Knicks right now are not what they used to be over the last 2 or 3 years. That's a fact.
Man, Stephen A. Smith and this Josh Hart battle continues. I don't really care for what Stephen A. Smith has to say, but last night kind of fueled his argument a little bit. He's saying, who do they beat over this 7-game stretch? And he's right. We didn't really beat anybody. But you play who's on your schedule. You don't make the schedule. The NBA makes the schedule. So you take care of business, and that's what the Knicks did. I'm not apologizing for that at all. But Josh Hart is protecting his teammate. And if any of you have played sports, have been in locker rooms, you ultimately want to protect your teammate. No matter how you're feeling about Mikal Bridges if you're in that locker room, you are going to protect your brother. And Josh Hart has been one of the most vocal Knicks ever since he's been acquired from Portland. He's been one of the most vocal Knicks, and he's been the one to kind of clap back at people. And for Josh Hart to kind of tell him to shut the hell up yesterday, a lot of Knicks fans agree with him, because Stephen A. Smith, all he wants to do is talk about the negative stuff and the stories. And I get it. That's what drives his show, man. That's the media of 2027. Like that's the media. Right? That's the media. 2026. Excuse me. I'm already skipping a year. Man. But yeah, we're in 2026, set 2027, right? I just had a brain fart for a second. 2027. Yeah. I just had a brain fart. 2026. All right. That's neither here or there. I need my coffee. I'm sorry. But look, Stephen A. Smith, he did the same thing with I don't know if you followed him yesterday. He did the same thing with the Yankees yesterday with Aaron Judge going 0 for 5, 4 strikeouts, and that's the thing you want to talk about. So, look, Stephen A. Smith, as long as the New York Knicks, the thing that sucks about this is as long as the New York Knicks don't shut him up, the only way they can shut him up at this point is to win an NBA championship. And that's the only way they can shut up a lot of Knicks fans, if they win an NBA championship. because it seems like that's how this Knicks team is going to be judged, because a lot of people didn't like it when they fired Tom Thibodeau last year. So it sucks, but that's the reality of the situation. But I love that Josh Hart is sticking up for Mikal. But Mikal, to be fair, needs to step up as well. And to be fair to Mikal, he did step up last year. So this is kind of where that whole back and forth started. It really started when Stephen A. Smith was blaming the Mikal Bridges picks over the Jalen Brunson. Like, it really started with that, with Stephen A. Smith blaming Jalen Brunson for the whole Mikal thing. And that, I think, was just stupid. But look, it's the media nowadays, and this back and forth. I wonder what Josh Hart's going to say regarding this today, if he responds, or tomorrow. But we'll see, because this little back and forth is not going to stop. It's not going to stop. And the interesting thing about the back and forth is that Stephen A. Smith said, I put it on my my X account too. Give me a second. He said that pretty much he knows people in the Knicks organization that cuts Josh Hart's checks. And I said, maybe that's the issue here. Maybe people within the Knicks organization need to stop talking to Stephen A. Smith, man. Stop talking to Stephen A. Smith. Because Stephen A. Smith said, quote, first of all, you don't know who I know. Secondly, you don't know who talks to me. Thirdly, you don't even know how close I am to the people that cut your checks. Then maybe that's a deeper issue. Like, maybe if you believe Stephen A., those people need to stop talking to this man. Now, I know personal relationships have been probably built up for many years, maybe decades. So maybe that's hard for me to just say stop talking to Stephen A. Smith. But when he claps back saying that, like, I know your bosses, like this, it's like, who do you believe at that point? Then we're starting to get into some waters where we don't want to get into. So, look, this has gotten messy, but I stand with Josh Hart, man. Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up, please. We do not need you commentating on the New York Knicks. Now, he'll ultimately be right if the New York Knicks fail in the playoffs. And that's the thing that sucks. Because, to be fair to Steven, there is some truth to his argument. To be fair, both sides, right? I want to be objective. I don't want to be Nick fanboy. To be fair, there is some truth to what Stephen A. Smith has to say, right? To be fair. So, L Figure says, I love how JB doesn't get involved in this middle school girl drama. Yeah, exactly. Look at Big Perk. Look at Big Perk. So, Riaso, what's going on? Appreciate you in the chat. Appreciate every single one of you guys in the chat. Thanks for hopping in this midday live stream, 12:55 p.m. KnicksNation show started at 12:30. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Elfie said there's 2 weeks left in the season, and I still don't know how I feel about the coach. I definitely had a good feeling about Thibs at this point in his first season. Because let's kind of remember that's his first season, because his first season when we were feeling good, when we didn't really have winning already under our belt. So it was all new to us. Like the winning, the playoffs, the culture, it was all there with Tom Thibodeau. He built this is his culture that he built. This pretty much his team, right? But the Knicks front office decided to move off of him because they thought that he had a ceiling. Like they thought his ceiling was capped. So they bring in Mike Brown, and they hired Mike Brown with the thought process of that Mike Brown can take them to the next level. Now, that is to be seen. That is, we don't know until the playoffs start, right? But they thought Tom Thibodeau had a cap because last year, say what you want, some people thought the Knicks had a bench. Tom Thibodeau didn't play their bench. So you have to change the coach in order to change that, and that's exactly what they did. But Mike Brown, look, if you go to their their ratings, right? Let me go to Basketball Reference. The Knicks are top 5, I believe, in offense this year, offensive rating. So, like I said, Mike Brown is ultimately not going to be judged until the playoffs, right? So, we shall see. I don't know if this has it on this page, but it usually has it. Hold on. I'm not saying we shouldn't have fired Thibs. I'm just not sure if Mike Brown is the right one. You're not going to know until the playoffs. They're third in the NBA in offensive rating. Third. Behind the Celtics and behind the Nuggets. And that's by a point, 2 points. So that's close, man. That's offense is good. The Knicks offense is good. Defensive rating. Whoa. Why did I put rating twice? Offensive rating, they're third. Defensive rating, they are fifth. They are fifth. But, you know, last night kind of put a damper in that, but, you know, we'll see. Net rating, they are fifth in the NBA. Notice how all of the top teams, Thunder, Pistons, Spurs, Celtics, Knicks, top five. And look who's number 6. Look who's number 6. That's why last night's loss didn't Charlotte's good, man. It's not like we lost to scrubs. The Charlotte Hornets have the 6th best net rating in the NBA. I'm telling you, if they face the Cleveland Cavaliers or even the Boston Celtics in the first round, I really do think there's a chance where they can win. I do. Or the Pistons. I don't think anyone wants to face Charlotte. I don't. In the first round. In my personal opinion. So. Soriaso says Brunson can't win with Randall. Now Knicks fans say he can't win with Cat. If next year he can't win with Giannis, what will this fan base say? Ooh, that was a deep comment, Soriaso. Look. He already put Giannis on the team next year, right? And it's crazy how Giannis and the Bucks now are at crossroads. Giannis wants to play, the Bucks don't want him to play, and I feel like, and we'll get to this new proposal about the NBA lottery, which I actually think helps out the New York Knicks 5-pick argument against Mikal Bridges, because if one of these proposals passes, then essentially some of those picks that the New York Knicks traded the Brooklyn Nets, the odds are not going to be in the Nets' favor. So if you kind of want to cool off the Mikal Bridges 5 first-round picks talk, which I know a lot of people don't, but I just thought it was a cool little wrinkle that Shams dropped today. We'll see, Soriaso, man. I just think, look, man, we'll see. It's a lazy response, Soriaso, but honestly, at this point of the season, I'm just like, get me to the playoffs, man. That's where my head's at. Like, get me to the playoffs. This Knicks team has proven that they're really good. They've proven that they're inconsistent. They're really consistent at being inconsistent. And I just think, look, if this team underperforms this postseason, guys, there's going to be major changes to the roster. It's just the reality of the situation. You can't go 2 years firing your head coach after he got you to the Eastern Conference Finals, and let's say you don't make it to the Eastern Conference Finals and still run it back next year. I'm sorry, that just cannot happen. Then it's a problem within the roster. It's a roster construction issue, right? This was the year. Remember, this was the year where the seas parted for us to get to the NBA Finals. No Tyrese Halliburton. The Pacers are out of the way. No Jason Tatum, and then poof, in comes Jason Tatum, and the Boston Celtics look really good right now. This was the year. It was the Knicks and the Cavs that were supposed to finish top 2, and in came the Detroit Pistons, and now they're at top of the conference, and they've smoked the New York Knicks every single time they've played us. Smoked us. Again, it's regular season. We'll see how it is in the playoffs. But I'm telling you, like, I'm going to come into these playoffs extremely cautiously optimistic with a feeling of confidence. Call me crazy, but that's where my head's at. That's where my head's at right now. Because I do think come April 19th or whenever the playoffs start, when the Knicks have that week off and they're rested and they have a full squad, I do think they'll flip the switch. I do think that. There's a part of me that I think that we'll see a dominant Knicks team, especially the first couple of rounds, and then Eastern Conference Finals will let's go, right? But I still look. There's problems with every team. I can point to flaws with every team, right? You know, Celtics are integrating Jason Tatum into the lineup. He looked good versus Thunder, but he's been like, you don't know what he's going to look like in a 7-game series playoff battle, man. He's just coming off an Achilles injury. He's not Jason Tatum. Like, he's not last year's Jason Tatum. He's still really good, but he's not really Jason Tatum yet. Cleveland Cavaliers, man, they have two guys that haven't made it past the second round, I believe. Donovan Mitchell can't make it past the second round. The Detroit Pistons are inexperienced. Last year they didn't make but we're hoping they don't build off of last year, which many are expecting them to do, because now they have Jalen Duran who's playing like a superstar. So, and we don't know the situation with Cade. So every team has their flaws. It's just going to be matchup based, right? Because let's say the Hornets face the Pistons. Like right now it's 9-10. Hornets Heat play-in game. Let's say the Hornets win that, they play the Pistons in the first round. You don't think the NBA world are going to call for an upset in that series, especially with no Cade, especially if there's no Cade Cunningham, and the Hornets are playing the Pistons? I think that's a toss-up. Call me crazy, but I think that's a toss-up in the first round, especially with no Cade. Want to caveat that, but we'll just see. You know, Philly's getting healthy. They just got Paul George back. I'm not worried about the Magic. I'm not. So I do think there's a possibility the Pistons or the Celtics get knocked out in the first round. We'll see, though. Am I crazy? D-Dot says Stephen A. Snitch, a shock jocker. Clown emoji for Stephen A. Smith. Wait, do I have my clown sound? I think I'd have my clowns. Do I have a clown sound? I have a basketball horn. That's not a clown sound, but it's a bicycle horn. Cat putting up numbers, but D-Ross, what's going on? El Figgy says the Hornets are reminding me of last year's Pacers. They caught on fire and had the best record in the league the second half of the season. Yeah. Then they went on to take OKC to 7. Yeah, man, it's fascinating, man. It's fascinating how far the Hornets have come. It's crazy. It's all about getting hot at the right moment. And I just brought up the ratings. I can't believe they're 6th in the NBA in rating. But last night, like, I can. But again, the playoffs are different, man. The Hornets are inexperienced. I never know what to make of the Miami Heat. It seems like every year they're in the same predicament, playing ever since they traded Jimmy Butler, man. It's the same thing with the Miami Heat, right? Cleveland is, I truly do think Cleveland's a wild card, because if they get hot, they could be really good. But you just don't trust their guys in the playoffs, especially James Harden and Donovan Mitchell. Because I truly do think Cleveland and the Knicks have the most complete teams in the East. Right? I think we have a complete team. I do. We just have to put it all together. Cleveland, I feel like, has a complete team. Like, they have a bench and they have a starting five that's really good. I just don't know come playoff time if they start shaking in their boots like they have been. Right? So, and sometimes it's not about that. Sometimes it's just about getting hot and playoff performers. And we know that we have a few on our team. So, yeah, away we go. Once again, shout out to the chat. Afternoon talk, 1 p.m. over here in the East Coast. Appreciate you guys tuning in to the Knicks Nation Matinee Show. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, all the good stuff. Appreciate the members in here. If you guys want to become a member, just hit the join button down below. You know what? I want to see if I can gift some memberships right now live on the live stream. This is random. This is YouTube's algorithm. So let me see if I can give some memberships on the live stream. I know they only give me 10 to gift. Bear with me here for a second. Yeah. All right. Boom. Gifted 5 memberships. D. Benjamin, Chris Game, Fad Winfield, Christopher Phillips. Congratulations. You just got gifted Knicks Nation memberships. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Once again, I'm Anthony. If you're new here, it's kind of dark in here. Man, I didn't get my lights. It was kind of dark in here, right? So, I don't know what just happened to my. It's like dark in the room all of a sudden. Apologies. But all right, let's get back to this. Okay, so now that's gonna keep ringing, really. All right, so Shams Charania dropped a story today regarding the lottery. NBA lottery proposal from Adam Silver next year. He says the NBA presented 3 comprehensive anti-tanking concept to its board of governors. All right, I promise you, I believe that's the last one. It's like an automated system. I apologize. With modifications expected to each before a formal vote in May. Each of the 3 proposals, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Let's get to the first proposal. In the first proposal, 18 teams, the bottom 10 that missed the play-in tournament, and the 8 that qualify for it, all will be part of the draft lottery. Okay. 18 teams. So the bottom 10 that missed the play-in, so the teams right now that are out of the playoffs, right, in both conferences, and the 8 that qualify for it. So if we go to ESPN standings, appreciate that, L. Figgy. Appreciate that, L. Figgy. Thanks for the support, as always. All right, so Bucks, Bulls, Wizards, Nets, Pacers, and on the West, it's Pelicans, Grizzlies. Right? Is that how it's read? The bottom 10 teams will all have an equal 8% chance of moving up in the lottery. Okay, so the bottom 10 teams. So that's the bottom 5 in the West and the bottom 5 in the East. They say all will have an equal 8% chance of moving up in the lottery, with the remaining 20% of the odds being split among the 8 play-in teams in descending order from 11th through 18th. Okay. So the play-in teams will have less of a percentage chance to move up. All 18 spots will be drawn as part of the lottery in that format. So essentially, it doesn't matter where you would finish. Like, they're essentially eliminating tanking. Like, it doesn't matter where you would finish. Like, if you have the worst record in the East, your odds are not going to increase. It doesn't matter. Like, the Pacers would have to. I know the Pacers have been trying to tank. The Nets have been tanking. The Wizards for sure have been tanking this year. But if I throw a Knicks angle on this, the Knicks sent the Brooklyn Nets picks for Mikal Bridges, right? Let me go to Nets first round picks owned. So they have our pick next year. They have our pick in 2029. So essentially, I don't think it'll matter. And since it's like, if we're good, I don't think that matters anyway. But essentially, if it incentivizes them to win, like it incentivizes them to win, because right now they're awful. The Brooklyn Nets are terrible, right? So I'm trying to get this, and they have our pick they have a pick swap 2029. They have our pick as well, and they have a swap in there, right? 2029. They own our pick. 2027, they own our pick. So essentially, like, these picks that you would trade for superstars, like, okay, I'm going to take the angle, like, let's say in 2029, right? The Knicks suck. Everything is blown up. Mikel's gone. You traded Cat. Brunson is still here, and it's just Brunson and a bunch of scrubs, hypothetically. And the Knicks suck. But you don't own the pick. The Nets own their pick. Well, that pick won't be that valuable because of these new lottery rules. They'll still have a percentage that it will be a top 5, but it's not going to be like today, where essentially if we suck today, that pick would be extremely valuable. Rather than in the future, if we suck in 2029, the pick that Brooklyn owns, like, let's say there's a possibility according to this proposal, the first proposal, that it can finish anywhere from 10 to 15. 1 to 15. It's a possibility. So essentially that pick doesn't really hold that much value like it has in years past, is what I'm saying. So teams will have to kind of recalibrate how they want to trade their first round picks in the future, how teams value these first round picks in the future, especially with the Giannis trade coming up. It's interesting if they pass this before the Giannis trade. Like, does the Milwaukee Bucks value these picks rather than talent? Now this puts, in my opinion, more value on these younger, upcoming talented players in the NBA rather than these picks. This kind of takes away the value for picks, in my opinion, a little bit. If this passes, right? Again, there's a second proposal. Here it is. The bottom 10 teams. I know this is a lot of language. I know this is probably boring to some of you guys. I apologize, but I just wanted to get this out there. The bottom 10 teams that missed the play-in tournament, the 8 that qualify for it, and the 4 playoff teams that lose in the first round will all be included in the lottery and will be ranked according to their record across 2 seasons. That's interesting. The last part, weighting teams by their record across prior 2 seasons, is how the WNBA weights its lottery system. Interesting. So hypothetically, if a team loses in the first round of the playoffs, they have a chance to obtain the number 1 pick. Look, each one of these proposals will eliminate tanking for sure. And I think that's the main issue in the NBA. They're trying to expand Seattle and Vegas, but I just think each one of these proposals eliminates tanking because there's too much tanking going on in today's game. Too much for a draft pick that will probably not pan out, right? So we'll see what passes. We'll see this summer. This summer will be interesting. The third proposal is a 5x5 method. In this one, the same 18 teams from the first proposal, the bottom 10 that missed the play-in, plus the 8 that make it, would be entered into the lottery. The teams with the 5 worst records would then have all the same odds, with them descending from there. And there will be a lottery drawing for each of the top 5 picks in the draft. Interesting. Man. I don't know if any one of these proposals will pass, though. I hope they do. From a Knicks perspective, like I kind of like that Adam Silver's kind of thinking outside the box here, and that he's trying to eliminate tanking, because I honestly think this is the only way, unless you want to make every team have a chance to obtain the top pick, which is unfair. But I think this kind of takes away from the genius of some of these GMs too, right? Like Sam Presti out in OKC probably hates this stuff because he's been killing the league. He's been killing the league. So, if the season ended today, the Knicks have the 26th pick in this upcoming draft, right? 26th pick, and either the first or second pick of the second round in a loaded draft, by the way. But essentially, losing is not going to really matter depending on if you finish last or if you finish 8th. You're all going to have the same record. I kind of like that, man. I kind of like that. Because remember, Dallas screwed us over a couple of years ago with the lottery protected pick, and Washington, they suck this year, but I kind of like it. We'll see. We shall see. Why am I so dark? I'm sorry. I appreciate you guys in the chat. Nostalgic, what's going on? Appreciate you in the chat. Joel, what's going on? Chem Doc, what's going on? Appreciate you in the chat. Nostalgic says, love this time spot for you. Yes, Nostalgic. Got a day off here and decided to come on here and talk New York Knicks with you guys. So chop it up on this Friday afternoon. Whatever you guys want to talk about, open up this. Is it a podcast? Open up this stream talking about the loss last night, how we're feeling about this Knicks team. If you go to their schedule, it's tough. Like, their schedule's tough. Especially their next 3. And I know Houston really hasn't played well lately. Let me see. Normal. All right. So, at OKC, at Houston, at Memphis, and then the Chicago Bulls. So, playoff team, non-playoff team, non-playoff team, playoff team, playoff team, playoff team, playoff team. So, 6 out of their next 8 games are against playoff teams. So, which Knicks team is going to show up, man? Which Knicks team is going to show up? And I'm hoping that we can get our ish together, and I'm hoping that, Deuce can come back for this Sunday game. So, man, should I go back to this box score? I just don't understand, Towns has been playing so well, and I saw a lot of comments yesterday when Towns started to get going. Mike Brown kind of went away from him and kind of benched him right when Towns started to get going, but Mike Brown kind of said in the post game that we needed Mitchell Robinson's presence in the paint. But Towns has been awesome. That's the thing. Towns has been great for us. Ever since this Laker game, right? Really after the All-Star break, he's just been incredible for the New York Knicks. A little bit after the All-Star break, but I just think, sometimes it happens. But sometimes, yesterday was a reminder that the flaws are still within this team, right? Defending the 3. And that was the main culprit, That was the main culprit. So we'll just hope and see how they come out on Sunday against a Thunder team who's really good. Really good. Is Jalen Williams back yet for them? I believe so. I believe he is back. Joe says OKC will be a huge game. This Rover says, how about just find teams with a ridiculous amount of money? Doesn't work, this Rover. Doesn't work. The NBA fined the Dallas Mavericks when they tanked a couple of years ago to stay in the lottery $700,000. Guys, Mark Cuban was the owner at the time. He's worth billions of dollars. $700,000 equivalent to a billionaire is like finding, I don't want to get in your pockets, but it's like finding me a parking ticket. It's like finding me $150 parking ticket. It doesn't, like, what is that? Fines don't work. Fine is a drop in the bucket. They'll take the fines. You can't fine a billionaire $700,000. That they have that in their ashtray. Like, okay, pay it. Don't care. Once you start messing with the lottery odds, then Adam Silver knows that. That's why he's messing with the lottery odds. That's what affects tanking. Then there is no incentive to lose. There is no incentive to rest your players. There is no incentive to punt these games because every team has an opportunity, right? And the only way this system doesn't work is if, let's say, in a loaded draft this year, right? I don't know. I'm just naming a team. Let's say we, Knicks fans, let's say the Knicks organization. Under the second proposal, it says if a team gets knocked out in the first round, they have a chance to be in the lottery. If, let's say, hypothetically, the Knicks get knocked out this year, in the second proposal, we would have a chance to obtain the first round pick. It kind of brings like excitement to fan bases as well. It's like, oh, we got knocked out, but we have a chance to get the number one pick. But it could really help teams as well. It could really help a contender as well. You really have to think about it from many different ways, and that's what Adam Silver is doing. So, yeah, Joel says, yep, a $700,000 fine for a billionaire is like a $10 fine to you. Exactly. It doesn't work. Like, it's a drop in the bucket. Like, fines don't work. Fines don't work. El Figgy says, bottom line is if we beat OKC, then everyone will forgive and forget last night's defeat. Yep. Find a way to beat them. Find a way to beat the Thunder. Once again, shout out to the KnicksNation crew. Third seed don't seem too bad, right? After all. Trying to avoid Charlotte, right? Third seed don't seem too bad, man. But Charlotte can hop in that 6th seed. They're in a game. They're a game and a half back, man. It's crazy. So you can play either the Raptors, 76ers, Magic, Hornets, or Heat in the first round. Or the Atlanta Hawks. Any one of those 5 teams you can play in the first round. So I put the odds on the screen. Right now, the Knicks have a 62% chance finishing the 3rd seed in the Eastern Conference. They have a 26% chance finishing the 2nd seed and a 10% chance. There is still a chance where this New York Knicks team can fall to the 4th seed. I don't think they'll do that, right? But then again, like I don't. There's 8 games to go. You know, Cleveland's 2.5 behind you, and you have the tiebreaker over them. Do you? I think we have the tiebreaker over Cleveland. Yeah, we do. I don't think you're gonna fall back to 4th, but there's still a chance. There's still a chance. We shall see. Humberto says, stop judging the Knicks regular season. All right, so that's all, folks. I'll see you in April. I'll see you April 19th. Nothing to talk about here. I'll see you April 19th, game 1. We'll go through the preview during that day, and we'll just go from there. Appreciate you, Humberto. But no, Humberto, that's how a lot of Knicks fans feel. Yeah, like, this team was ultimately going to be judged in the playoffs. Like, playoffs aside, once the regular season ends, no one is going to care about the regular season anymore. That is when the fun starts, right? That's when this Knicks team will ultimately be judged in the postseason. But you wanted to see how they looked in the regular season. And at times their offense looks elite. At times now their defensive intensity has looked better. But if you look at the schedule, to all the naysayers pointing out like who had the Knicks beat, their last great win, guys, against a playoff team was against the Denver Nuggets. That was Friday, March 6th. It is the 27th. That was 3 weeks ago, if I'm doing my math correctly. 3 weeks ago. That's when the Knicks dominated Denver, and they've had the Nuggets number. And to be fair, this OKC game was really close, and we weren't really overreacting over the OKC game because we were right there at the end. But we played them good, though. And then you lose to the Lakers. Lakers have been hot. You lose to the Clippers. That was alarming. Then you had this 7-game easy layup stretch, and they took advantage of it. They won, even though it's some bumpy games. Like the Utah game wasn't easy until the third quarter. Indiana, like I can go through this chapter and verse, and then you play a playoff team in Charlotte and you lose. So a lot of Knicks fans are like, dude, they can't beat anyone good. But that's not fair. Because they have beat people good. Teams good. Right? They have. Everyone beat Denver. D-Dot, appreciate you. Appreciate you, D-Dot. Expand it. Okay. The New York Knicks are 26-20 against teams that are 500 and above. They're 26-20. They are 22-6 against teams below 500. These are the stats. 26-20. So that is the third best record against teams above 500 in the conference. The Celtics are 25-19. The Pistons are 29-14. The Knicks are 26-20 against teams above 500. And if I go to the West, Spurs are, even though we've beaten them multiple times this year, 32-13. The Lakers are 22-23 against teams above 500 and just demolishing teams under 500, and everyone's crowning the Lakers, right? So it's narrative stuff. But I do think this Sunday game versus OKC, they need to come out with intensity, a better start, and I would like a win. Joel says we need to beat a contender now. Yes. Yes, we do. Our last good win against a contender. CJ, what's going on? Appreciate you in the chat, CJ. Our last good win was Denver against a contender, and that was 3 weeks ago. That felt like 2 months ago, right? Any other Knicks news that I've missed? The Mitchell Robinson stuff. Mitchell Robinson commented under an Instagram post off a video that I posted on my Instagram. Then another Instagram pretty much copy pasted, and Mitchell Robinson saw the video. That's not me hating, by the way. I'm just a little salty. So the video I posted about Mitch and Huckporty, Mitch talking about the rebounds, Mitchell Robinson responded, "Don't even matter unless we change our approach. We ain't doing shit special. Keep that bullshit up, myself included." Don't even matter unless we change our approach. We ain't doing shit special. Keep that bullshit up, myself included. He's trying to dissect these. Like, what is he trying to say here? He's pretty much saying it does, like, his insight, I guess, doesn't even matter unless we change our approach. Okay, that's where I'm taking out of this. Nothing matters unless we change our approach. What approach is he talking about? I think he's talking about what Latino said earlier, the mindset. I think Mitch is saying sometimes we don't have that mindset. And to be fair to Mitch, I don't know if you guys have checked him out lately. Like, he's been playing with a certain mind. Like, he's been taking no BS. Teams are trying to, like, push and shove him. Like, he's shoving back. Mitchell Robinson's responding. You saw the brawl, like, not the brawl, but the little scuffle in Brooklyn. Like, Mitch is on point with his mindset right now. He's in playoff mode. And I'm assuming that he's talking about that, like, unless we change our approach, we ain't doing shit special. Keep that bullshit up, myself included. Elfie said he's talking about coaching. It's so hard to dissect this stuff, man, but like, I'm going to try to. Like, don't even matter unless we change our approach. I'm thinking that's the mindset, their approach to these games. Their approach is the approach how the New York Knicks have looked to start these games, right? I just think they've looked flat. And when Mitchell Robinson comes into this basketball game, which is why I would like Mitchell Robinson to start again, although I don't think that will happen. Mellow Mike. What's going on, Mellow Mike? Salute. Salute, Mellow Mike. Salute, CJ. Either way, I love it. I love it for Mitch. I love that he's engaged. I love that this is a contract year for him. And if anything has been proven is that the New York Knicks definitely need to sign him, re-sign him. I don't think this Knicks team can lose Mitchell Robinson. I don't. That's unless, like, of course, let's say there's a world where we get Isaiah Hartenstein back this summer, which I think is a possibility. But I don't think they could lose Mitch, without replacing him with somebody that already knows the system. But I just think, man, I think he's ready. I think he's ready. His load has been increasing more and more. Pause. His minute load has been increasing more and more. He's been engaged. He's been dominant. And I just think that he's putting this message out there, like, nothing matters. I don't care about anything unless we change our approach to the basketball game, unless we change our starts, unless we change our mindset. That's where I ultimately think Mitch is at right now. And to me, this gives me hope because I know that there's guys in that locker room that give a shit. And Mitchell Robinson is one of them. Mitch, the longest tenure Nick. Him and Deuce, right? I think Mitch, longest tenure Nick. I love it. No bullshit. No BS from Mitchell Robinson this year. None. So, I think that's it. I think that's the latest, Knicks news, man. Am I missing something? We got to the Stephen A. Smith stuff. We talked about it a little bit. If you guys just trickling in here and want to chime in. Oh, happy birthday, Tyler Kolek. Happy birthday to Tyler Kolek. Happy birthday to...
Blocked from behind by Kolek.
Happy 25th birthday to Tyler Kolek. Would like to see Kolek play more, but there is no room for him. So happy birthday to Tyler Kolek. He is coming for Jose Alvarado's spot. He is coming for his spot. Quick update on the standings. Knicks are still third in the East. They're a game behind Boston. Cleveland is 2.5 games behind the New York Knicks. So if you were to look at the schedule for Boston, their remaining games for Boston after beating the Thunder, they have Atlanta, Charlotte, Atlanta. Tough. Atlanta's playing well. Charlotte's playing well. And then Atlanta again. So I still do think this third seed is obtainable for the New York Knicks, but we shall see. We have to control what we control, and that is beating the Oklahoma City Thunder on Sunday night on Peacock. Let's do it. D-Ross says, Cat is good, but not championship good. Yeah, look. if the version of Karl-Anthony Towns shows up like what he's been playing, like how he's been playing, other than the Charlotte game, the threes, the intensity, the rebounding, the offensive rebounding, the assist numbers have been like his vision only. Like if we get that cat, like the cat that we've been seeing, quite frankly, for the last 2 weeks in the playoffs, like I think the Knicks go as cat goes. Honestly, as crazy as it sounds, like I think we need cat to dominate. Like we need that. Like we need Cat to dominate these games because he is such a mismatch to opponents. Like Brunson can get his points, right? But Cat, like there's not many players that can guard Cat when he's on. Now when he's off, when he's doing the offensive fouls, leading the league in offensive fouls, when he's in foul trouble, which we haven't really seen lately, which is a good sign, then that's the bad Cat. That's the bad Cat. But we'll see. Mellow Mike says I was there at Westchester witnessing that 42-point performance courtside and then watching him dropping an 11 at the Garden. Mellow Mike was in the building. That's what's up, Mellow Mike. That's what's up, man. Appreciate you in the chat. Appreciate you hopping in here. All right, guys, that's a wrap for the afternoon show. Appreciate you guys hopping in here for the Knicks Nation afternoon matinee show. Appreciate all the members in here. Once again, thanks for giving me your time. Subscribe, like, all the good stuff. Thanks for the support as always. It means the world to me. Make sure you guys follow the Instagram at KnicksNation and on X at KnicksNation as well. I'm gonna get off and just go about my day and do some things this Friday afternoon, and hopefully no major news drops. But I think we touched on a lot. So once again, appreciate you guys. Enjoy your Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Happy Friday to you and yours. Enjoy your weekend. And I'll catch you guys next time. I am Anthony from Knicks Nation. Have a great weekend. Peace.